In 1909, the railway between Kaifeng and Luoyang was opened. The news deeply worried Kang Ting-lan, an 18th generation descendant of the Kang family. Before this, in Henan, long-distance transportation had mainly relied on water transport, and trade centers had been built near rivers and canals. The railway brought fundamental changes to the commercial layout of the region, challenging the position of Gongyi and Kaifeng as commercial centers and worsening the already dwindling fortunes of the Kang family. Faced with this situation, Kang made a final push. By the end of the Qing dynasty, as the country fell into discord, the Kang family also encountered a crisis they'd never experienced before. In 1861, an army of rebel bandits arrived in the area. In response, the Qing government blocked the river traffic and sank the shipping to prevent the rebellion from spreading. The Kang's fleet was among those lost.
抗满人的船，尤其是它是主要是走运河的船，漕运为主的船，小船门前这船当然有，但是这些船都打不起来一路船，所以这一次给他的船一沉，就是把他的生意交通给他断绝了。这是他的做生意来讲，这非常致命一点。
The incident marked a turning point for the family, from prosperity to downfall. Fortunately, thanks to their predecessors' foresight, the large amount of land they owned still provided a substantial income for the family. It seemed, however, that the Kang family's downfall was inevitable. Kang Ting-lan was born at the end of the 19th century when China was undergoing a major transformation. In 1898, the 100 Days Reform was instigated, triggering a sense of crisis among the Chinese people. At that time, Kang Youwei, Liang Qichao, and others launched a political movement aimed at trying to initiate an all-round modernization movement. There were also calls to save the nation through industrial development. This led to the birth of modern industry and commerce in China. The Kang family had always had an agriculture-based ideology, making them seem rather out of step with the times.
因为经营土地，一占用了大量的资本，二产出是非常低的，
就是没有做到与时俱进。那么根据时代的新的要求啊，实现一个很好的转型和升级，错过了历史的机遇。
Kang's parents died when he was young, so he was brought up by his uncle, Kang Hong-yo. Kang Hong-yo was a special figure. He was more interested in reading books than in doing business. He was the only member of the family to apply and qualify for an official position. He was open-minded and took good care of Kang Ting-lan, sending him to Kaifeng to receive a modern education and study Western commerce. He hoped that Ting-lan would be able to revive the family's fortunes. One day, when studying hard in Kaifeng, Kang received a letter informing him that his uncle Kang Hong-yo was terminally ill. So he headed back to Gongyi. In 1900, the Eight-Nation Alliance invaded Beijing. Empress Dowager Cixi fled westwards with Emperor Guangxu. The Kang family was based in Henan province and didn't expect that this national calamity would bring disaster to them too. A year later, Empress Dowager Cixi decided to return to Beijing from Xi'an, where she'd sought refuge. She had to pass Henan province, the Yellow River, and Hebei province on her way back. Gong Yi was also on her route back to Beijing.
他们要从洛阳往北京去，要路过巩县。他路过巩县，巩县要做2个准备，因为知府洛阳府的人就赶紧召开这个几个县里知县来商量了，通过往巩县走，巩县就得接待。接待有2个呀，一个陆路，一个水路。走哪里？他也不能去问皇帝你走哪里，他必须做2手准备。
Gong Yi's cash-strapped local government apportioned the expenses to local wealthy families, and the Kang family was the first to bear the brunt. Although the family had now become fragmented, as the head of the family, Kang Hong-yo had to make a decision.
他不都得层层的往底下要啊？他都没有这个要找大户，找大户的时候呢，就找着康洪友这是最有名的了。
康家接待就叫知府就要叫他接待，实际上就叫他拿钱。
Kang Hong-yo had no choice but to agree to fund the construction of temporary imperial palaces, 5 huge ships, and 5 gigantic housings for them.
那康洪友当时也可作难，就说也可作难。那最后实在没办法了，那逼着没办法了，那他们也能说了，那也就拿着绳子压人呢。那这次绳子下来了，你不给也不中啊。
皇帝是古代都说的是龙啊，这个龙不走干路啊，还不走这老路，就说这路这一条路必须得修过，咱现在说得5米宽，得1丈多宽了。这路上得铺上一层黄土。 是代表是铺了一层毯子，路2边呢还是盖个几十米高个龙岗，是水，就不断那个说龙走嘛，还得泼出水。来以前呢，县长的扫支地，在前头扫支地，他才在后头走。
The Kang family spent a pile of money receiving Empress Dowager Cixi. After returning to Beijing, she ordered all local governments to replenish China's cash-starved national treasury. Thus, a heavy financial burden was imposed upon the Kang family once again.
修行宫我拿出来钱，那就管咋说吧，我吃着力吧还能拿出来。你这不送国库的，那可不是10万8万的，也不说整个倾家荡产吧，那个真是弄得摇摇欲坠了。那你整个陕西给完了，卖完了，毡房、土地是最雄厚的一个地址卖完了，那家里边积蓄完全凑上。
Kang had no choice but to sell most of the land to gather the needed funds. In 1903, Empress Dowager Cixi sent the family a board engraved with a message of thanks. This raised the fame of the family, but left them ultimately on the brink of financial collapse. Like the Qing Empire at the time, the family was beyond recovery. That engraved board also disappeared somehow or other, along with the family's riches.
它那个边儿吧，都是带花纹的啊，都是带花纹，有啥花纹我也不记得，反正光知道上边一溜是八仙，就说那八仙嘛，八仙人， 我看着可好看，一直到解放，这边都搁那搁着的，最后咋弄炸了不知道了。
Kang Hong-yo then became seriously ill. There were no other members of the Kang family who could turn the tide of fortune. On his deathbed, Kang entrusted the task of reviving the family to his nephew, Kang Ting-lan. Kang Ting-lan needed to solve two major problems. One was the decline in water transportation. His family, which had risen up as a result of improving water transportation, couldn't pull a rabbit out of the hat twice. The other was the turnover of capital. Receiving the Empress Dowager Cixi had undermined the family's financial strength, and their remaining capital was tied up in land. They were almost broke.
这是他很要害一点，但是这种人他还能维持，就是他还有土地这一块儿。像经常他那些土地每年或者农业把它收各个，作为他家生活上还是没问题，但是生意上已经成问题了。
Kaifun had benefited from its convenient transportation links and had enjoyed a glorious history. It was also one of the bases of the Kang family's business. As the water transportation industry declined with the rise of the railways, it became difficult for them to develop their business here. After thinking the problem over, Kang cast his eyes to Jingzhou, a small city to the west of Kaifun.
当时的郑州呢叫郑县，是鲁汉、陇海两条铁路交汇之处，交通非常的畅达。
尽管说是一个小县，但康廷呢已经认识到了，仍然像县人民那种有钱买地、买地种粮，粮棉互换，他已经看到了，必须要搞实业。 不搞实业不行，要搞实业就存在着运输的问题。
Kang's decision to abandon the business bases that had developed over several hundred years and build new ones was opposed by most of the family members. He continued to try his best to convince them. With several thousand silver dollars he'd obtained from selling some farmland, he established a cotton trading company in the most bustling part of Jingzhou. This strategic shift worked. With its convenient transportation connections, Jingzhou became a vital part of Henan province in the following years. The whole country had 108 trading ports, and Jingzhou was the only one in Henan. As a cotton trading center, it was home to over 100 cotton trading companies. The cotton trade became a major part of Kang's business plan.
郑州就是他的这种棉花加工厂，他把他各地的棉花都运到郑州，给郑州加工，加工了用大整包，大整包通过火车运，火车运往南面运，比国际走运还简利多了。
This period saw the dawn of various national enterprises and represented a new beginning for the Kang family. Kang's cotton trading company became well known in the Central Plains area. He even sold cotton to Japan and was the first to expand the family business beyond China's borders.
以郑州为中心，向东可以把 棉花运到山东，向西运到西安，向南运到江苏、上海等地，向北运到京津地区。通过这样一系列的商业运作呢，使它的生意在资本经济的刺激之下呢， 越做越大，甚至呢超过了他的先祖。
As well as getting involved in traditional transportation services, Kang also became involved in industry. He obtained a loan of 100,000 silver dollars from the Bank of China and established 2 cotton packaging factories with the most advanced equipment available at the time. Meanwhile, inspired by the victory of the Revolution of 1911 and guided by men he considered insightful, he set about to do his bit to save the country through industry.
因为呢，当时啊，这个中国的棉纱市场呢，主要是由英国、日本、美国等所占据。但是在1次大战以后啊，面对资本主义社会的经济危机，英国的棉纱呢，输到中国的减少了。那么日本呢，本来可以趁这个机会啊，占据中国的棉纱市场，但是中国棉花市场的需求呢，它是以粗纱为主，而日本的棉纱呢，则以细纱为主。这样呢，日本的棉纱输入中国的也相对减少。
Kang had opened his packaging factories at exactly the right time. China had an abundance of cotton mills. Kang established relationships with many of these mills. The cotton was provided from his warehouses in different places. Since he sold self-produced cotton, the cost was much lower than that of his rivals. Kang also adopted a modern enterprise management system, hoping to bolster the decaying fortunes of the Kang family. Just like China itself in the early 20th century, the Kang family was struggling and was beset by turmoil and weakness. It seemed that spring was coming, but the clouds of war and misfortune rose once again. In 1937, the anti-Japanese war broke out. China's fledgling national industries and commercial activities suffered a deadly blow. Many factories went bankrupt. Kang's factories were forced to close down, and the cotton trading company in Jiangzhou also struggled. Soon Shanghai fell to the Japanese, and railway transportation was cut off. This dealt a serious blow to the cotton trading companies. It was during this period of time that Kang received a phone call saying that a shipment of his cotton had been burnt by the Japanese.
他的花呢是一部往天津运这批花，是叫钱啊，火车皮啊，用火车运到山就乱了，山这个天津那一带也是乱的时候嘛，那是乱的可厉害，故他这车皮棉花强啊。 说北面强啊，南面少，这一次的打击是致命的打击。
Seeing that the Kang family's business couldn't be sustained anymore, the bank pressed for the repayment of its debts. This was no doubt a heavy blow for the family's ever-worsening business. Hit by these blows, one after the other, Kang became anxious, angry, and ill. He passed away soon afterwards.
从第6世的康绍敬开始起家，到第18世的康廷兰。康廷兰他也是被称为整个康氏家族最后的一个康百万。封建社会嘛，男尊女卑，东为上，东边在过去用来接待男宾，而西边。
If history could have given the Kang family another opportunity, Kang Ting Lan might have been able to continue the legend of his family. He lived in turbulent times and died of grief. After his death, the family never regained its past glories. This legendary family finally receded from the spotlight that it had enjoyed for such a lengthy period of time. The Kang mansion looks a little lonely by the light of sunset. As a living link to the family's past glory, Kang Shu Chan is one of several members of the family who once lived here. As the people of her generation become older, the final remnants of the Kang family's wealth have gradually faded away. As time goes by, even a family which managed to remain wealthy for 400 years couldn't cheat fate. Only this ancient mansion remains, like an actor taking a final bow before disappearing into oblivion. It's open to the public, so that later generations can ruminate over the stuff of legends and reflect on the history that took place here, mirrored in its weather-beaten bricks, tiles, and pillars.